Hey guys, so today we are talking about those crazy Google updates that we've all been struggling with over the last, say, year and a half. How do we navigate through them when our websites take a massive hit on traffic? Like, what do we do? So today I'm going to share with you 5 things that you can do. Actually, it's a couple of things that you should do when it happens, and then a few other things that you should kind of be doing along the way so that these traffic upsets don't impact your site as much as they would otherwise. Okay, so number one, right now, let's say a rollout happens and you are suddenly like, oh my gosh, I'm losing traffic. What do I do? Number one, don't do anything. Don't go in and start trying to fix blog posts that you suddenly see a drop in traffic, because that's what you're going to see. You're going to see a drop in traffic, right? And it's going to be an abnormal. Like, we have our fluctuations all through the year, but this one is abnormal. You've suddenly lost quite a bit of traffic. And so you go in and you're like, which post did I lose the most traffic on? Let me go in and make updates to those. Don't do that. It's literally in the middle of, like, if you think of it as shaking the snow globe, right? And you go in there and try to arrange things and try to clean up while that thing's still snowing, it's just not going to work. Let it level out. Normally, Google will tell us that a rollout will take, say, 2 weeks, right? So at that 2 week mark, give it another couple of weeks for it to level out and kind of find a balance, right? Because what is happening, Google is, playing with the algorithm in an effort to ensure that when someone Googles something, the best possible answer to their Google query, to their question, is being presented on page one. And you have to consider thousands, possibly millions, maybe even billions of new content is being added daily. And so it has to adjust the formula for which it uses to index things, right? And so, there were a lot of people who were getting a lot of traffic up until about 3 or 4 years ago when these massive updates started happening, and they lost, like, oh my gosh, 50% or more of their traffic from Google. And when I would go look at their content to see what they were ranking for before, like, they sort of were just on page one by default, maybe before blogging really took off and more people were getting into it, because their content really did not satisfy my search query, whatever it was, right? Like, there was no form to it, there was no real outline, the headings were all wrong. And so Google's like, look, if you want to continue ranking, you need to make sure that what you're writing is satisfying a search query. So that's a whole nother video. But when these things happen, our first instinct is, let's go fix it. You cannot fix it while the snowstorm is still happening, right? Let it settle, let it even out. And then after a few weeks, so if it's a 2 week mark, give it another 2 to 3 weeks, then go in and see where your losses were, right? Like, which of your blog posts were ranking a lot and getting a lot of traffic and now suddenly nothing. Go look at those. Look and see, check the outline. Do the headings make sense, right? You might need to adjust or add some of your headings to have some more variables of your keyword query. Y'all know I don't like the word keyword, but the query, right? Remember, SEO is not about a single keyword. It is about the entirety of the content and answering all the questions that the reader may have about this particular topic. So updating headings, maybe just looking, like, does this content really make sense? Is it answering questions, or is it just a lot of keyword stuffing, right? Google's caught on to keyword stuffing. That doesn't work anymore. So once the storm settles, then go in and just start looking, where can I make improvements on this post so that it's better aligned with how Google wants it to be. And there's plenty of training. I have lots of training to show you how to write content that Google will recognize. If you're not writing it that way, you're not going to have any luck, like, catching back up to what you were, right? Google saying the old way's not working. This is how your content needs to be. So maybe I should have added in here, one thing you need to do is make sure that you understand SEO. But okay, so we've talked about, don't freak out, evaluate your loss, see where the losses have happened and what you can do to those individual posts to maybe bring them back up to par, or bring them up to par, I should say, on what Google's kind of new guidance is. And it's not a secret. I mean, the information is out there. You just have to be willing to step outside of your own mind as far as how you think the content should be written, because it's not about you. It's about your reader and what they are searching for online. Okay, so those are the two things, like when the thing first happens, when, you know, the update rolls and you wake up and you're like, oh my God, where's my traffic? So now let's talk about things that you should kind of be doing along the way. Like before the updates even happen, these next 4 things are going to be more about how to keep traffic coming in, right? We don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket. We've learned that with Pinterest in the past. We've learned that with so many things. And so while organic traffic, SEO, should be your number one, your most traffic should be in that area, you want to have these other areas where you are getting decent organic traffic, so that when these updates hit, you don't take such a massive loss, right? Because if all your traffic's organic and the organic's messed up, then there goes your traffic, right? So the first one is one I really love. And honestly, a lot of people are still on the kind of, oh, I don't want to do that about this, but video. Video is where everything is going now. You know, Instagram is now pushing video with Reels, Facebook, the whole sharing a picture and just read. I mean, people just don't like to read anymore, right? Like, that's kind of sad. But video is where it's at. That is where everything is going. And I hate to say it, but if you have a fear of video and you're like, I'm never going to do video, I have to tell you that you will struggle with growth, because video is where growth is going to happen. And so you kind of need to get over that. And I'm saying that with love, like, get with some groups, you know, practice it, whatever. But video is the way to boost your content now, and will be for the foreseeable future. So, you know, adding a video to each blog post. Now, don't just add a video, like, don't go get somebody else's video. Make your own videos, have a YouTube channel, right, where you store those videos and then you embed the YouTube video in your post. The videos need to relate to the SEO of the post. I have a whole other tutorial about that. But this increases that particular post being found in video searches, whether video searches on Google or video searches on YouTube. And so even if your content organic keywords on Google drops, you could still be getting traffic from the videos, right? So video is very important. Here's the cool thing. Once you make a video, you can then repurpose it into many other areas. And so that leads me into the next one, which is social media. TikTok is huge. I know a lot of Christian bloggers have issue with TikTok and don't want to be there. And that's fine. I'm not here to push you to something you don't want to do, but I'm here to let you know, as Christian bloggers, we are here to carry the message of, you know, to the lost. That's our, you know, love God, love people, or love others, and share the gospel. That's our marching orders from God, right? And so we aren't finding lost people when we're only hanging out with other Christians or sharing things in other Christian communities. We should be going where the lost people are. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of lost people on TikTok, right? But it's how you share your message there. And so, you know, taking that step of learning how to do videos there can eventually bring traffic to your blog if you do it the right way. I'm not going to go into the details of that for this video because that's not what this is about, but I will have a whole other video for that. Instagram, same thing. A lot of people don't get traffic from Instagram to their blogs simply because they're not using it correctly. You're not just there to share pretty verses. People go there for engaging content, for entertainment, and for, you know, I follow some blogging bloggers on Instagram and their videos teach me things, right? And so then I want to go to their websites to download their printables or their checklists or whatever. So think of it in that manner. But videos are the thing on Instagram too. So doing your reels and things like that. The next one is going to be Pinterest. You know, Pinterest was our friend and then it wasn't our friend. And while I don't recommend spending an innate amount of time on Pinterest, I don't think you should give it up altogether. You've already made videos, right? You've done some for YouTube, you've done them for TikTok or Instagram, repurpose them into pins, right? Something as simple as a Bible verse of the day. I'm doing those and they're getting great engagement. I'm seeing an uptick in traffic to my site. Having a whole nother video that shows you how to do all that. But Pinterest can still send you some traffic. It's never going to be your number one source. And if it is, you might want to rethink your strategy, but it's an additional stream of income, or I'm sorry, of traffic in case your organic traffic takes a hit. And the final one is your email list. Now, I know many of you don't have a huge email list yet. And so, you should focus on building your organic traffic first. And then from that foundation, start building your email list so that it's people who are truly engaged with what you're writing. But that email list is how you get extra traffic each week. People join your email list, you can send them links to, I mean, that's not why they join it, but that's your purpose in having it. I have an email list right now of about 3,500, and I have about a 50 to 60% open rate. And so every week, even when I took a hit from Google, I was still able to maintain a certain level of traffic because of the emails I send out every week. Every one of those emails generated traffic back to my site. So those are all additional things that you can be doing to help. It's not going to be the amount that you lost, but if you have those additional streams in place, your loss won't be so tragic as it is if all of your traffic is from organic keywords. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I know it was a lot, but the biggest thing, there's nothing we can do about these updates, guys. This is going to happen. It's part of the game, but the worst thing you can do is freak out. So just let it settle, right? And then come back after the storm is settled, do an evaluation of where you've seen losses and see how you can improve those. But you first have to understand the dynamics of how Google wants content written, right? You can't just throw a bunch of keywords anywhere. Google understands when people are doing that now. That used to be the way, just go sprinkle some keywords in there. That does not work anymore, guys. Google sees that and will actually probably give you a bigger demotion for doing that, right? Write content that satisfies your readers' queries, and you will have a much less chance of being significantly impacted by these algorithm updates. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Be sure to follow us here on Kingdom Bloggers YouTube, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.